Hi, I'm Jeremy Blowers, the Executive Director of the Ontario Regiment RCAC Museum in Oshawa, Canada. In 2019, we sent some of our members on a recce to Conneaut during D-Day, Ohio. We had hoped in 2020 that we'd be able to join you there and show off some of our Canadian and Commonwealth World War II vehicles. Since the event has been canceled due to COVID-19, we're helping out with D-Day, Ohio by sending you this video, which will highlight some of our World War II collection and some of the other vehicles here at the museum.
So the M3 was a wonderful vehicle, but it had a radial engine, and the Air Force wanted to have a monopoly on radial engines. So a lot of the early Shermans and M3s had radial engines. They had to modify them with a wide variety of other engines, and that required a redesign. So the M5 Stuart actually had a inline engines that basically provided a fairly good system, and so basically the whole engine system was used in the Chaffee. And the Chaffee was a reconnaissance tank that was in use and sort of phased in 1944. We have one Chaffee here. The Canadian Army did not use Chafees during World War II, but they received some post-war when they came back to Canada and were rearming their military. What's very interesting about the Chaffee is that you have the driver and the co-driver, but for the first time, the co-driver actually has a matching set of driving controls, so that if the driver is incapacitated, the co-driver can actually take over driving the vehicle from his position, as opposed to stopping, pulling the lifeless body of the driver out, and then taking a seat in his position. Also, it's got a 75 millimeter cannon, so we're seeing from 37 with both the M3 and the M5 Stuart to a 75 millimeter gun. And so what we're seeing is some of the rapid evolution, both in the size, the speed, the armor, and the armaments of the vehicle. And carrying that on, right beside me, there's an M4 A2 E8. Now, Canada did not use this particular Sherman during World War II. They used the earlier Marks with the shorter 75 millimeter gun and with a variety of engines. Towards the end of the war, or in 44, a number of the vehicles started having their guns replaced with 17-pounders called the Firefly. Those tanks were originally 1 per troop, and by the end of the war, it was 2 per troop. But Canada left all their vehicles in Europe. They gave them to the Dutch and Belgian armies. After the war, Canada had to rearm, and so what they did is they talked with the American Army to see if there was some way they could buy Shermans. And it just so happened that there was a wide variety, or close to 400 Shermans that were equipped with diesel engines that had been built for Lend-Lease to go to the Soviet Union. Why would they still be sending tanks to the Soviet Union now that it looked like the Soviet Union was not necessarily their most loving ally and Germany had been defeated, Germany and Japan? So these vehicles equipped with diesel engines would not fit into the American inventory because the American Army was a full gasoline army and they didn't need to build a second supply line for diesel. So the Canadians saying, give us a good price, we'll take them off your hands, managed to buy close to 300 Shermans with diesel engines for approximately $3,000, $2,000 to $3,000 per vehicle. And these served initially with the regular force and the reserve units, but from 52 onwards, they were with the reserve units, and they were continued to be used as training vehicles all the way up until 1972. It is a wonderful vehicle to drive. We have 2 of them in our collection, of course, both mobile, Billy and Bart.
Thanks for watching and your interest in the Ontario Regiment RCAC Museum. If you can't visit us here in Ontario, subscribe below so you can catch all of our videos in our different series. If you can, visit the gift shop in the link below, get some great tank swag, and support our museum. We also ask, if you are able, please consider donating. Thanks again.